So when this comes out, people are gonna be like, when did y'all do this? So I'm gonna be like, listen, I'm a YouTube star now, ladies. Don't talk to me.
It's recording.
Oh. Oops. Oh well, okay. Funny.
Hi, my name is Renaissance. Welcome back to my channel, and I have my friend Camille here.
Camille, yep.
You've been in another video before.
Oh, just like a little snippet, like a hair flip.
It's really just the back of your head, because you refused to be on camera, except for the bit at the very, very end. But you're not in it, it's just you talking.
I wasn't prepared to make my YouTube debut yet. What can I say? So
Camille and I are going to be talking about what we perceive to be the difference of white people versus people that are white. It's this whole theory that we've
just made up ourselves. No, it's nobody else's. We were patenting this.
I mean, if you also...
we will be getting a patent on this.
On the thought, basically. You can't think it. No, but if you're someone who's not white and you think about these differences as well.
And if you are white, just take a step back and think about
maybe
which
they're
one
a
you
person
are.
who's white.
But I'm just like all the white...
They're not great at identifying
the
themselves.
white little snowflakes out there. Just take a step back and think to yourself...
We're gonna teach you.
Who am I?
Back to the video. Since my count is real small, just basically me and Camille here, I have a time limit on how long my videos can be. They can't go past 15 minutes. We've eaten up a lot of that time,
which is not cool. YouTube, if you're watching this, which you probably
Don't.
are, you need to change that. Make it a little longer. She's struggling out here. she's trying to make a career here, ladies.
Because of that, and because of how I know Camille and we could literally talk for 3 hours about the color red, we're gonna set a timer. I have it for
what the color red reminds you of?
If you say fancy.
Oh, that's Chicago.
Oh, that's true.
For obvious reasons. Red scarf.
What reasons?
The red scarf, Just go ahead.
So anyways, 18 minutes.
So you know what this feels like? Chopped.
Anyways, I have a timer for 18 minutes, which I obviously should have started before the intro. Basically taking up however long our discussion is. When it ends, that's when it ends. We'll stop talking, and that'll be the video. So 18 minutes starting now. Let's talk about the differences between a white person and a person who is white. So what, attributes...
Let's talk about which one you want to be. You want to be.
I like how you flipped the question from me asking about you, and you're like, let's talk about you. You right now watching this video.
Who you want to be. All the white people out there, I don't care if you're mixed with white. I don't care if you are just white.
Let's specify white passing, I think.
White passing... I think you know if you're white passing. I mean, come on.
Well,
okay.
Some people don't, because some people really like to use that card.
Wait, are we talking about what, mixed people who are white passing? Or
Yeah, we're talking Rashida Jones type. I mean, she's... I hate this word, but, exotic. That's the type of people.
So exotic.
But, there's a difference between Rashida Jones and Tracee Ellis Ross. Tracee Ellis Ross, if you're gonna cast... she's in Blackish. Whereas Rashida Jones played Anne on Parks and Rec.
Great show. We can talk about that if you want. Not this time. Maybe
Not this time. Another episode about Parks and Rec on its own. But, those are two very different people, even though they're mixed.
Well, white passing... I want to say straight hair, but it's
White passing is where if someone passed you on the street and then you asked them what they thought your race was, that they would think that you're white. A great example would be my mom, who's Mexican, but is a completely, white passing person.
Very.
Just...
So white passing that people think Renaissance is adopted, but she is not.
For the first, at least, 12 years of my life. That's...
Okay.
So let's talk about who do you want to be?
You want to be a person who's white. You don't want to be a white person, because then you're going downhill, sweetie. You need to fix yourself.
White?
Or just stay away from me. One or the other.
Yes.
Take a pick. Put a bit of hat.
Either way, we can't be in the same association.
Yeah, get out of my face.
Which That's a bit more on the aggressive side. Not that your interpretation is wrong. Just a bit more aggressive. I'm more like, let's help you become a person who's white. Sometimes I just don't want to talk to you.
Okay.
But, okay.
So,
reel it on back.
Person who happens to be white, it's like...
I would say, like, a person who happens to be white would be, like maybe, like, a Michelle Visage, kind of, from RuPaul's Drag Race.
Okay, but I feel like defining a white person is easier.
Yeah, that's it. So, there's more of you. There's more white people than there are people that are white. I can tell you that
a white person, it's just like...
Donald Trump. Tommy Lauren.
Yes.
Tommy Lauren.
It's like overly patriotic for no reason. Like nobody, like why are you proud to be an American? What is there to be proud about?
Personal preference out here. Maybe we're not speaking on behalf of all
black people.
Or even all black girls or whatever.
People of color
this is personally just us. Personally, Camille and I, we're embarrassed to be...
I mean, am I happy that I live in actually...
Well, like, you live in a place that, like, you do have opportunities and certain freedoms that are not granted to people in other countries.
I would say...
That is true.
We're more privileged people of color.
Yes.
Because there's people out there really struggling.
Yeah.
Do we face, like, a little bit of this, a little bit of that? Of course. It's America. We're black.
Do we get the looks now and then?
Oh, I forgot at the wedding I was, like, keeping...
Also, my nail just broke. So sad.
Okay, so a white person. Okay, so it's like, I feel like we have a lot of these at our school.
Yes. Which, if you saw my last video, you would know how many white people are in my community.
I was going to say no shade, but I don't mean no shade. I mean all the shade. I know a lot of white people at school are watching this. I don't know. That's demographic? Probably.
Let's talk about white people. White people are, again, the people who I would say are maybe a little overly patriotic. No, okay.
They don't acknowledge the flaws in America.
Exactly. But, like, America, when talking about itself to the rest of the world, is like, look at how bubblegum dropped. Like, it's like, this is the land of opportunity. It is the land of opportunity for one person.
White people.
White cishet males. Can we talk about something real quick?
Hey, we're going to talk about everything else. So.
White woman. The dangerous white woman. We're talking about the woman who just called the cops on a black girl who's selling water. The white woman who called the cops on the man who's barbecuing in,
A 1, a 2, 5, 6.
We're totally just not talking about white women threatening police brutality on black people.
White people be calling the police.
Or the one old white woman who was like, who walked up to a black man's car and was like screaming while running away from it and like calling the cops, but he was just sitting in his own car. Those are the white people that we're talking. Like, those are people you don't want to be. If you find yourself and it's like calling the cops on innocent black people for no reason, just because you don't want them to be doing what they're doing, when you know that there's a chance that, like, that could end their lives, that's, like, top-tier white people.
Also, it's like, if you are aware, or, like, you
are aware of your privilege, and then you abuse it.
Yeah, or you acknowledge that there's flaws in America, but you feel like all the efforts to change it are pointless. I think we all know who we're talking about here.
Sorry, I kind of...
You can bleep this out if you want.
Okay.
When we were doing the gun protest, and he was like, what's the point? I was like...
Okay, people who, like... Oh, this is like, a very Tommy Lauren-esque thing. But it's, like, when they're just like, you shouldn't kneel because you have the right to kneel, but you should stand to honor the people who gave you the right to kneel. Kind of circular thought process. That's like, oh, you shouldn't protest America because America has given you the right to protest. Like, if we're going to be a democracy and allow people to voice their opinions on what should be changed in the country, and, like, that's how this country was functioned to progress, then you shouldn't yell at people who are trying to make it better. But let's switch to a more positive note, which is people who are white.
Okay, so I was thinking about this right now where you're talking, just, like, in my mind, just, like, by myself.
You and your audience on the inside.
So, I feel like... Maybe it's just me, but I'm not even gonna lie, I have, like, prejudices against white people where I just assume that they're all out to get me.
Okay, but this is a very Camille specific.
This is literally just.
One of her.
It's just me.
Like one of your. Her,
everything.
I don't know how to explain
it's anti-black.
Everything
like,
is anti-black.
That's out to get.
Run
me.
out of water in your water bottle. Anti-black.
Anti-black.
Accidentally flip to the wrong page in a textbook.
Anti-black. It's just they're out to get.
Your
white
shoelaces
people,
untied.
The white people are out to get me, and
but like, yeah,
they're not. They might be.
I have this wall up at school, which, like, don't get me wrong, there are white people at school. Like, there are.
Yeah.
There are some printer paper people at school. But there's, like, the people, especially the white people that you particularly, like, have in your regular circle at school.
So not much.
aren't like that at all. Like,
yeah,
the one
which is the
that
people,
you talk to is,
which
like,
is
Bowman. You'll have a conversation with Dr. Easley,
yeah,
no problem.
Sweetest person in the world.
Shout out to Dr. Easley.
You're not watching this, but...
You're not.
But if you were. If you're hearing this right now...
We miss you, Dr.
You guys
Easley.
are great.
Let me tell you.
Great. I just assume they're all white people. Mm-hmm. So it's like, when you're a person that just happens to be white, it's like we share the same views, and you go against my view of what other white people are. Mm-hmm. And so you're just like me, but you're white, so you're just like a person that happens to be white.
So if you look at the white person track record, like if, like you're, like some, like obviously not me because I kind of agree with you. I do agree with you on that, but like to a white person's ears because I've played this role with that white family, so I've learned to see from their perspective is basically like, but like I'm a good one or whatever, which like we'll get into that too, but like. If you look at the history of things that white people have done to people of color, our automatic
it's
defense...
Like, can you blame us?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, can you blame us when,
on.
like, slavery, colonization, implementing colorism into people of color, President Reagan... I'm just gonna
throw it out there.
I'm just gonna bat that one off to you guys.
You can catch it if you want. You can just leave it to the side. Whatever you want to do.
There. He literally just, like, made basically just huge... chunks of the black community addicted to drugs and then planted them in their community so that they can then be arrested and sent off to prison and then just continued this whole systemic black family doesn't have a father like motif basically throughout the communities that have basically just devastated the United States and the black community.
So, can you blame us for having these?
So, with that said, can you blame us for having those... Which, like, obviously, we're not just going out fighting white people left and right. Like, we come... Like, a white person comes up to us and we're just, like, spit on their face and just, like, slap them. That's not what happens at all.
It's like a mental thing. Where it's like, I meet a new white person or I see them at school and I'm like, I'm watching you, buddy.
It just throws me back to when we had to read Heart of Darkness in class. If anyone hasn't read Heart of Darkness...
You're not missing much.
I know. I always feel bad because I'm like, am I just sounding unintelligent? But at the same time, I'm like, no.
No.
You're not...
No.
It's old and it's racist. And I don't care if you try and tell me that it's not racist. This is exactly the confirmation.
I don't know, how can you tell me it's not racist? Like...
I mean... I'm not saying that, like,
again, I don't
it's just, like, N-word. Like, the whole thing isn't, like... It has it in there, but that's not the whole point of the story. Isn't how to be racist 101. Here's a textbook.
But it's like, if you're wondering what racism is, and you're like, I need like some text like information, just get that book.
Joseph Conrad is a white person. Let me just tell you that he is not a person who's white. He's a white person, and he wrote that book, and I don't like it.
Again, but don't talk out much in class. But I talked about that book.
Can we talk about Mr. Bowman for a moment?
Mr. Bowman.
Shout out to Mr. Bowman.
Woo, Mr. Bowman.
Woo, I might send you an email link to this exact video.
Just this video.
I'll just send him a timestamp of when we talked to him.
You should just send him the unedited video.
Mr. Bowman is a teacher. Well, he used to teach at our school. This past year was his last year.
He's an educator.
He's an educator.
He's an intellect. Educator.
Intellectual.
Educator.
Intellect is
intellect like, dash.
Jewel. Okay.
He does it all.
He does it all. He's a man of many crafts. But the reason why we were bringing him up is because for us, usually it goes from like a scale of like white people to people who are white, it's like from Tommy Lauren to Mr. Bowman.
Right.
Like, Mr. Bowman is a great example of, especially, like, as a white cishet man.
Yeah.
He's as liberal and progressive and, like, using his privilege positively.
It's like,
as a person
black kids love Mr. Bowman, the Mexican kids love Mr. Bowman.
He has a great
the white kids
following.
love Mr. Bowman. We all love Mr. Bowman.
Like, but
the annoying kids I don't like Mr. Bowman.
He does not take his conversations lightly. I'm like, what could you possibly
He doesn't
have
take anything
offer?
lightly.
He's a loud, dramatic
possibly the
man.
most dramatic person I've ever met.
But a person who happens to be white. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. Is that, well, he makes an effort in his class to...
Which I appreciate.
To bring in works written by non-white men. Because...
It's like,
did you
that's all we
notice
read.
that, like, I, like, went through all
Except
the books
for Chinua
that I've read.
Achebe, that's it.
That was in his class.
Exactly.
No, I know. I'm thinking of all the things that are... Okay, so there's Chinua Achebe. Oh, I guess Borges.
Borges isn't white.
No. Okay, so we have two. But, like,
that's
how many
two
things,
out of, like,
how
a
many
bunch.
things have we read so far in high school? A bunch. But Mr. Bowman makes an effort to bring in either works or reference to authors who aren't white men. And he uses his... I guess, charm and ability to get people to like him, to, like, open up their minds to be more empathetic to all different types of people. And he's really, not, like, sensitive, but he's very woke, I guess. Like, he's
so woke.
He is woke. But he is, like, socially aware of the struggles and the different types of backgrounds that his students go through. So, like, he's not gonna make a police comment in a room with, like, a black kid if it's obviously the punchline or the joke is that police brutality is happening in the United States. Which some of you might think, who'd make a joke about that? And I'm like...
You'd be surprised.
Bunch of people. And he's also from Louisiana. So, like, he's from the South. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
I thought it's from, what's it called?
Colorado. He moved to Colorado.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
This is weird.
She knows his whole background for whatever reason. I don't know why.
I was about to, like, go into this thing, and there's like,
She went on Ancestry.com.
That sounds stalkery AF, but he has mentioned it before. I think he mentioned that he was from Louisiana in a podcast episode, too, like, recently, so it's, like, fresh.
I don't remember.
It's fresh.
You know
but,
that.
You have the worst memory.
I really do. It's kind of sad.
But anyways, we haven't done a great job of explaining Mr. Bowman. But if you know him, and you're white, you should strive to be more like Mr. Bowman. Socially and politically.
And visually. Start cutting your own hair.
Just go into the bathroom in the dark, just snip, grow beard, mustache wax. If you could get just 3/4 length sleeve tattoos. Not a full sleeve.
Not a full sleeve.
Up to about here.
Just set yourself like a good limit, and you don't go past that.
Just enough so that when you roll up your button-up sleeves, you just see the little skirt.
It's like
a little peek
it's like.
You know, a great example of a person who happens to be white is the one video that on Twitter of the white girl who's protecting the black girl because she didn't want her hair to get wet in the corner. I sent that to Camille. I think the caption was, like, using your privilege. Like,
she'll probably grow up to be a great gal.
I was going to say, like, that's a great way to teach young kids, like, to learn how to build a relationship between a black and white kid in, like, that setting. Instead of, like, trying to be like, oh, the white kids are getting their hair wet. A black kid should get their hair wet, too. Like, no, let the white kid get their hair wet to protect the black girl's hair. It's, like, a great... like, G version of how to make race relations better in the United States. So I think that whole ramble, I don't know how I'm going to edit this, because it's a lot of...
It's a mess. Sorry, everybody. All her viewers out there. This is going to be a choppy video.
It's going to...
Just be there for the ride.
Yep. So that was the video. Thank you for watching. Do you want your links in the description below?
If you want.
Do you want new followers? You don't post.
I don't post very often.
You can follow her for shiggles.
I drop a selfie every now and then. You could look, you know how you can do that little swipe? You could swipe to see what I'm liking. Perhaps follow the same people.
That'll just...
But...
You'll follow the spirit of Camille in that way.
But I don't post very often. I want to. But it just feels a little weird. Just a little foreign to me. I just drop that
post, on the other hand.
often.
Here,
I post once a month.
often.
I feel like it's like a good little, it's like, I'm just a little high school girl, you know? I'm not out here impressing anybody. I'm not like a big influencer or anything.
I knew that was directed at me, and I'm just gonna...
this girl over here.
I'm just gonna let that one...
I don't know why I did this. It's more like this, but I'm right-handed, so I went like that.
I don't know about this one. But anyways, this is Camille. Follow her if you want. She doesn't do much.
Maybe if you follow me, I'll be more inclined to post something.
Yes. Everyone follow, comment on her latest Instagram post.
And by latest, I mean the post from
more.
like 2 months ago.
Yeah. So, that was that. Yeah. See you in
on
the
the
next...
flip side.
See you
on
on
the
flip side.
flip.
Oh, catch you on the flippity flip. Whoop. Okay, bye.
Yeah, this is my palace. Champagne in my chalice. I got it all covered like a wedding band. Wonderland, so my alias is Alice. And we gon' start a motherfucking pussy rock.
That hard-hitting question.
Who am I?
So anyways.
I've asked myself that question multiple times.
Are you a white person or
Which one am I?